What's going on? It's Fist, bringing another great edition of Call of Duty for me to you, because that's what I do. So we're going to talk today about the Assault class. I know a lot of people have been asking me about the Assault class, so I want to go ahead and cover that for you. Just going to do a little, so we're going to go right into Assault class. Let's go here to, so just a couple things. So we're going to talk about Infantry. So Infantry, and we're going to talk about the Infantry Division, and that's the first class we're going to start, and then we'll just go down the line and cover all those. So Infantry is basically what it sounds like. You're mostly Assault class, and this is the attributes that the Division Prestige, or the Division badge has, as the Rifle Bayonet, the additional primary attachments, extra magazines, and moves significantly faster while aiming down the sight. Now this is a very interesting last attribute, number 4. It's a very stacked and loaded statement, and I'm going to kind of break it down for you because so you can visualize it and see what it means, and we're going to watch a game afterwards. And so the first thing I want to talk about is badges. And you can prestige these badges, any of these badges that you have, infantry, airborne, and so on and so forth. If you want to prestige your badge, and what you get for your badge when you prestige your badge is you get progressions, and progressions would be like a jacket or you know, a banner that goes on here. These are higher prestiges. If you prestige all of your divisions, you get a hitting streak that's gun kills up to 25. If you get 25 gun kills, you get a V2 rocket. It's not a game ender. It's a nuke wannabe weapon. But the main thing is that you want to get these badges that give you the last attribute. And the last attribute of every class is pretty significant. So in this one particularly is you aim down the sights and you move faster. But for training purposes, we're going to be using the Infantry Division and a different ribbon. So when we go down to ribbon, the point being is this, is if you prestige your badge, then you will get scoped. So you're not going to overlap the last part of your division's class, your last amendment, or whatever you want, your last attribute. You're not gonna. That makes no sense. You don't want to put when you have move significantly faster, aiming down the sights. It's not going to stack, so it's pointless. So what you want to do is you want to use something that's going to go good with your play style. So for instance, on this one, on the Assault class, basically we want to use something like energetic, because we want to move really fast. So basically what we're doing is we're taking last attribute of airborne, which is increased sprint speed. So once you prestige your airborne badge, you can add this. So now you can have a hybrid class. You can have infantry with airborne. You can move faster and you can aim down the sights. Now remember back when I said there's a loaded question there, there could be some stuff there that, you know, when we talk about looking at the weapon, you can move back and forth. You can see you can aim down the sights faster. It doesn't say, I don't think it says while firing. It just says aim down. It just says move significantly faster while aiming down the sights. So it doesn't say. Now remember, this is a very interesting statement. It doesn't say while firing. So when we look at this, when we go back to the weapon, you see how fast this character moves without shooting. Then when he starts shooting, look how much slower he moves. So there's some your character isn't going to move as fast without shooting. Now another thing too, you can see on the reticle, on both sides of the reticle, when you shoot, you see the reticle will move to the far right of the back reticle. So if you're shooting, so if you get into a fight with somebody and they're moving, then you want to go to the far ends of your weapon if it has that reticle on there. So either side, that's one way to deal with it. The other way to deal with it is that if you want to use steady aim. So remember in my last video, we talked about you can do this where you can move and you can come off of it. So you can shoot, come off, and you go back in. And this gives you time to maneuver. So that way you can move in and out with this weapon at medium range. And most of your fights on this are going to be like that. Now, what I found really in particular, what I found fascinating was that when we go to another class, which would be my other class, which would be an LMG. Now, LMG, you can see. Now this is what I said. This is how I discovered this. If you look at it, look, you can still move really fast while aiming down the sights. And this is how I discovered the fact that while shooting, look how slow that moves. So you know that aiming down the sights, not necessarily. So if you want to use these weapons correctly, you gotta burst fire if you're gonna use this weapon. Or if you're gonna get in a fight with somebody, you're gonna have to reset. You're either gonna have to reset or move, which means you're gonna have to let off the trigger. You're gonna have to let off the trigger so your guy can move, or he's not gonna move, and you're gonna lose to SMGs. But this is a great long distance weapon to use, and then you can go off the hit. So you can take that, or if you get into a fight, you got to be able to turn. You know, that's this way you're going to have to move back and forth. But so that's the main difference. So when we look at the real true meaning of move significantly while aiming down the sights, it doesn't mean moving significantly while shooting. That is a misconception. So just know that if you have a weapon that's really powerful, like an LMG, you're going to have to reset and then fire again. So that's the M. So when we shoot, move, and see, that's what it's good for. This is 4 bullets, really. With the other LMG, it's only 2. So if we switch the LMG and we move to the Lewis, which is much, I think, way more powerful, and it's surprisingly they give you steady aim, and this is really crazy about this weapon. We could put LMG on there, and then just put we'll put extended mags, and then we'll put this over here. And you see this one is like, see how slow it moves when you're shooting. But if you let go, now it's only 2 shots medium range. I think it's 2 shots. 1, 2, 3, 3 shots. So you know if you hit somebody, you let go, and you can move. You only need it, and this is really good for getting snipers at long distance ranges. See, 3 shots. 1, 2, 3. You just shoot in between. And the iron sights are really not that bad. Just, you know, you just look in the middle. So I think the Lewis is much better. This is probably the best LMG in the game right now, if you're looking to get into LMG. So I hope that helped you to understand. Now you can mix and match special however you want. Infantry you can use with energetic. I like to run and gun, so I use that. Or you can use inconspicuous. That is off the Mountaineers' last attribute, which is silent footsteps. Now, what's really strange is that inconspicuous is quieter movement. It isn't silent footsteps. So, although your footsteps aren't as loud, it's kind of a weird thing to have out there, because now when you look at this, you realize that maybe not all of these are exactly the same as the last attribute in the weapons class. This is the only one that's not exactly the same as all the other last attributes in each division's class. So you have to look at these, and then you have to mix what you want to mix with your with your style, with your setups. So we're going to watch a video now. I'm going to show you the LMG, the MG42 or the MG, whatever it is. And then if you have any questions down below, leave a comment. And that is the assault setup class. So you could use it with anything. You could use the infantry with any class. Now you got to remember, you can put a SMG with it, but really there really isn't no point in that. But let's go ahead and for giggles, we're just gonna have to take a look at it. So when we look at it, I mean, actually, it's the same. It's the same with or without it. So you really don't need it. I mean, let's just double check that just to make sure, because I could be wrong. Because, you know, we could be wrong. We could be wrong. So let's find out. Interesting. Now that is an interesting fact we just learned just now. That adding assault to an SMG gives you a faster left to right shooting ability than it does with infantry or with airborne, that blows my mind. So that slows down. Wow, that I just learned. So you definitely want to use infantry with. That's insane. Okay. So these are things I'm learning with you guys. That's crazy. You move just as fast as you would ADSing and not ADSing. So that is a huge advantage if you understand and follow my ideas. And I think we need to cover this in the next video. I don't want to make this any longer than it is. So until next time, it's your boy Fizz. Enjoy the gameplay after this for the LMG. Until next time, peace. We're out.